Welcome to In the Field, the Helmets to Hardhats interview series where we take you behind the scenes and into the heart of what makes our mission possible, our people. In each episode, we sit down with members of the H2H team to hear their stories, insights, and real-life impact of connecting veterans, transitioning service members, and reservists with careers in the skilled trades. Whether they're working with contractors, mentoring candidates, or building partnerships across the country, our staff are in the field every day making a difference. And this is your chance to hear directly from them. Our first guest is Jason Wall. So Jason, we're super happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here today. So Jason Wall is a U.S. Marine Corps and Army veteran with a strong commitment to public service and workforce development. Originally from Portland, Oregon, Jason enlisted in the Marine Corps at 18 and served 8 years as a machine gunner, including 2 deployments in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. After leaving the Marines in 2015, he returned home but soon realized he missed the structure and sense of purpose the military provided. In 2016, he enlisted in the U.S. Army and was eventually stationed in Alaska, where he completed his service in 2021. Determined to make the most of his transition, Jason pursued higher education while still on active duty. He earned his bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in behavioral and social sciences from Wayland Baptist University. Leveraging tuition assistance and remaining GI Bill benefits, he continued his education and is now in the final semester of an MBA program at the University of Alaska Anchorage, with a focus on public sector and nonprofit management. Today, Jason serves as a case manager and the Alaska representative for Helmets to Hardhats with Alaska Works Partnership, helping other veterans transition into meaningful careers in the skilled trades. That's quite an impressive background, Jason. I would love to hear just more about your experiences and how you came to Helmets to Hardhats.
Sure. So to start off, while I was in the Army, I had in the back of my mind, knowing I was going to get out, that transition was very difficult. Even when I got to the Marine Corps in 2015, I had a good nest egg going and everything like that, but I wasn't focused, didn't have a plan, everything like that. So the money I had saved up during several deployments, everything like that, was just whittling away. I missed the military lifestyle. I missed just not having to worry about any of that stuff and just being in the field, training, and that camaraderie and everything like that. So I decided to go in the Army. But once I knew I was getting out, I knew I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. So I started attending college, knocking out my gen ed courses, and I was applying for jobs when I was still within my 6-month transition period. I happened to apply to Alaska Works just as kind of as one of many. They called me in for an interview, and then they just liked the cut of my jib, as they say, and hired me on. And from here, it was kind of great because on the one hand, I had practical personal experience with how difficult transition is, but then being in a position now where I can speak to that for people who are in transition, it's great. And then learning more about the trades and apprenticeship and everything like that, it's not something where it's like, hey, I'm towing the company line. I actually believe this is a wonderful opportunity for veterans as far as good wages, benefits, decent structure, pay that you can actually predict and everything like that, very similar to the military. And it's for people who they want to work with their hands and they want to actually see the fruits of their labor and everything like that, which I think speaks well to many veterans' experiences while they're on active duty. So you could just say I lucked out, really. I love what I do, and it's great.
That's fantastic. Well, I think H2H lucked out. We're very happy to have you. It sounds like, obviously you're so committed to this work. And yeah, it's amazing how many transferable skills there are from military into the trades. And so I think that, former military are such great candidates for this type of work. So yeah, thank you for all that you do.
Yeah. Happy to do it. And speaking on that too, it's great. So speaking with a lot of the leaders with the apprenticeships and the people who are basically working with these guys, they always they'll speak to me directly. It's like, hey, get more veterans in the thing, because they make such good apprentices because they understand hierarchies, they understand being the low end of the totem pole, and they're not afraid to work and learn a new skill. And it's just it's one of those things where I'm more than happy to do because it's very mutually beneficial. Yeah, even getting updates from my guys who they're going out to work. I just have one little anecdote, but I had a guy, he was a CBRN specialist in the Army. He got into the telecom apprenticeship, and basically 2 weeks after he was sent out to work, he was working out in rural Alaska up here, working 12-hour days, 6 days a week, but he sent me his first paycheck that was over $6,000 net. And he said that to me. He's like, hey, thank you so much for this opportunity. There was felt great. And then another thing too is man, maybe I need to look into this thing for it, and I get you. But ooh.
Yeah, the $6,000 is nothing to sneeze at, let me tell you. In this economy, shoot.
As a first-year apprentice too, where it's so that was great.
Okay. What are some of your duties at Alaska Works Partnership?
So I basically wear two different hats. First being a case manager for Alaska Works, and then the second being the Alaska representative for Helmets to Hardhats. For the case manager portion, basically what I do is I assist people with understanding what our program actually does, offering our free introductory level construction training, which is basically like we give you foundational knowledge. You come in with zero experience or knowledge, but you just kind of know you want to work with your hands. You just maybe don't know what. We get them into our training courses. They get some hands-on experience. They get a chance to evaluate the trade. The people representing the trade get to evaluate them as a student and a potential apprentice, and we just go from there. After the training is complete, if they decide that they want to get into an apprenticeship, we do things like write letters of recommendation based on instructor comments. We do things like interview skills, which is like a mock job interview where we ask you what the Joint Apprenticeship Training Center's interview panel is going to ask. And yeah, basically our job is just to facilitate whatever we can do to get people who want to be in the trades into the trades. For the H2H representative side of things, much similar to what the national H representatives do, is I advocate for veterans. Basically, first I make sure veterans and transitioning service members are aware of these programs, and then I basically do what I do for the case manager side as far as getting veterans getting transitioning service members and veterans into these trainings and offer all the same services, but I also make sure that I prioritize getting veterans in because I'm partial to veterans getting in the trades and getting good careers and everything like that. And yeah, that's the gist of what I do. A lot of outreach, a lot of case management, a lot of time in Form Stack and Vast Edge and Excel stuff. Yeah, just advocating for smooth transitions and veterans taking care of their families.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it sounds to me like there's so many opportunities and you're very passionate about the work, which makes such a world of difference when people are feeling vulnerable and making a change. That can be scary. And so, having someone that's been through the experience, having someone who genuinely cares, that makes a world of difference. So I'm sure you're deeply appreciated. So Jason, what does veteran outreach consist of?
It's partnering with a lot of other VSOs or veteran service organizations as far as making people aware of opportunities in the trades and construction and apprenticeships. It's also going on JBEAR, which is our local base right here in Anchorage, making sure that transitioning service members in that 180-day window know about these opportunities, and while they're still in active duty, they can take training with us while they're still getting the paycheck and the benefits and all that from the military itself, and just doing whatever we can to facilitate their transition. Ideally, if we get them in that 6-month window and they already have an apprenticeship waiting for them when they get out, so they can immediately go to work and start building their career, that's like absolutely ideal for us. However, even if it's just we make people aware of our program and 6 months, a year after their transition, they kind of think back and remember us as an option, that's obviously better than nothing. But yeah, I do what I can to get people before they get out, or if they're already out, make them aware of this opportunity. I'm also starting to really focus on getting people who are in the reserve component and the guard component, because obviously, hey, it's great, but it's part-time. It's not enough to really sustain yourself or your family and everything like that. And oftentimes I run into people who they're making ends meet, they're working and they're doing their thing, but there's not a lot of options for progression. There's not a lot of passion there or anything like that. So basically making them aware of these opportunities where getting into the construction field doesn't seem so daunting. You don't have to know somebody. You don't have to have a ton of experience or anything like that. You can just take our introductory level training free of charge, get some hands-on skills, get that confidence, and then all of a sudden when it comes time to apply, you're a bit more of a known quantity. Seeing you as a student in that capacity, and they've been able to assess if they want to take you on as an apprentice. Like I said, veterans, transitioning service members, reservists, guardsmen, they tend to do very well. And I get calls all the time from the Joint Apprenticeship Training Center representatives saying like, hey, send us more vets. Do you have anyone in mind? We have a bunch of openings, and vets are automatically put at the top of the list just based on being a proven quantity and having those inherent skills.
No, I can imagine. And how many veterans would you say do you know offhand that have transitioned in the Alaska area?
So annually, there's about 2,000 transitioning or service members transitioning out of the military.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm sure they are very, very grateful. So Jason, what recommendations do you have for veterans and service members considering separating from the military?
Take advantage of the programs available to you, and you have to make a concerted effort to know the programs available to you. So I can speak on it from both ends as far as having a very failed transition and having a relatively successful one. When I was initially getting out in 2015, I looked at it as like, hey, I did 6 deployments in 8 years, busted my back. This is my time to like relax, wind down, and actually decompress and everything like that. And even though that's perfectly, valid and warranted, or I think most people would agree with that, it's a horrible time to do it. That's not the time to relax. If anything, when you know you're getting ready to get out, that's when you need to be like pedal to the metal and really come up with a plan, start making decisions based on like your future and everything like that. I would say if you're active duty, take advantage of TA, even if you have no idea if you want to go to college or if you want to study. It's free. Knock out some gen ed courses, whatever you need to do, and retain as much of your GI Bill benefit as you can. Look into VRNE, which is something I actually wish I did because I had to cram undergrad and grad school within that 36 month of the post 9/11 GI Bill, and it's not easy. I'm very happy to be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, yeah. I think I aged about like 10 years in the last 3, but whatever. But the big thing is, yeah, just absolutely take advantage. There's so many wonderful programs, there's so much infrastructure to actually help veterans transition, but there's not a lot of information that's just presented. So nobody's going to advocate for you like you can, but if you reach out to VSOs and you reach out to mentors and people who've been through it, they can really make a huge impact as well, transitioning from, serving to civilian life again. And that's the overarching theme is take advantage of the programs and start now. That 6-month window, your transition window, is not the time to relax. It's not the time to take your well-deserved break, even though I totally understand why the impulse is there.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So Jason, tell us where we can find Alaska Works online.
Sure. So we have our website, alaskaworks.org. It has all of our relevant info, all of the trainings we have available. If you're in Alaska and you're looking to take advantage of our training, by all means, reach out to one of our 3 offices in Anchorage, the Matsu Valley, and Fairbanks. If you're a veteran or transitioning member looking to come up to Alaska, I will more than happily walk you through our program, assist you with whatever information you might need, get you into any trainings I can get you into, so that way when you come up here, you're ready to hit the ground running and you're not wasting any time. But yeah, that's it, alaskaworks.org. And then if you want to reach out to me personally, you just go to About Us, Staff, Jason, and has my phone number and email right there, and please reach out to me. More than happy to help.
So Jason, our closing question for In the Field. Thank you so much again for being our inaugural episode. I really appreciate you being here and sharing more about the work that you do. You are deeply appreciated within the Helmets to Hardhats family. Please let me know what your 3 favorite things are about your role.
3 favorite things. Probably at the top of the list is I actually feel like my work it matters and it makes a difference. Following up with people and hearing hey, I'm loving what I'm doing. The journeyman I'm working under is great. Just kind of getting that and contrasting that with my own experience getting out the first time or whatever. It's okay, my mistakes or everything like that are being avoided with this person here, and that's awesome. I would say my second favorite thing is I'm given a lot of agency to kind of do the outreach the way I want to do it, speak to the veterans the way I want to speak to them, speak to the transitioning service members the way I want to speak to them and everything like that, basically speaking to them in a language I know they understand because it's a language I understand. And let's see. So that's 2. Yeah, 3 is just working with other veteran service organizations. It's great. And I think people really underestimate when they're getting out how many people are dying to watch them succeed. Not just other veterans who either had a successful transition or struggled when they transitioned, but they want to see people do really well. But I also think just civilian employers, America in general, they want to see their veterans succeed because they've earned it. They deserve it. And if you at one point put your life on the line, you signed the dotted line for your country, you deserve a successful transition, but nobody's going to do it for you. But having resources available like myself or other VSOs and just being able to say that is great. I'm incredibly blessed to be in the position I'm in.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.